Well, you know what they say.
What's that, Adam? What do they say?
March cold brings April mold.
Wow.
You know what's embarrassing about that? I thought about that last night,
and
I typed it out.
No, to remember it.
To intentionally say it in this
done.
moment.
Wow.
And after saying it, I'll be honest with you, after saying it, I instantly regret it. But I'm a dad.
You miss 100% of shots you don't take.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, all that to say, it's the April episode. How are you guys doing? It's Glass Half Full. My name's Adam.
I'm Brandy.
And my name is Andrew.
ABA. Oh, man. Well, yeah. Hopefully you're enjoying the April weather. I feel like this past week, as we record this, the temperature has gone up.
It's getting much better.
It's not as miserable.
No.
I've played golf already.
Golf.
Which is good. Brandy, you've enjoyed some outdoor activities with your kids.
Yeah. We're back at the ball fields.
Nice.
Which is almost all year round. But now it's like the
now
outdoor ones.
Now it's enjoyable.
Which ball field? The indoor, outdoor one?
Yeah, the outdoor ones. I like it. It's a fun sport to cheer on in good weather.
I will say, Arch and I played the other day golf, and it was about as perfect wet. Like I told some other people on our team, I think the perfect weather is shorts and a long sleeve.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not too hot, but it's not too warm.
But you could do a short sleeve if you wanted.
You could,
but there's a slight breeze, so the long sleeve is nice.
But you're getting through the winter, and you know you're overweight, and you need to lose some weight. So that long sleeve provides some coverage. Of the gut.
Lack of being exposed.
Yeah.
Got real weird real quick.
Well, no, I'm just be honest with you. Once you hit 40, it is impossible to lose weight, especially when you eat a lot
and don't exercise regularly.
Anyways, we've got some things in store for this episode. Of course, we'll have good news. Easter was March 31st, by the way, so this is kind of the first time we're together since Easter, and we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
People come to Easter, they see the things, they experience the things, they love the things, but they have no idea the work that went into the things
or
that happened.
How ill-prepared and ill-skilled the people who put it up are.
Yes. So we
I don't
want
know about ill-skilled.
Yeah, ill-skilled when it comes to Brandy.
No, Brandy has more skill in her pinky finger than everyone else in this building.
You have no idea.
It's unreal.
If you go around, just walk around the building.
If it looks good,
Brandy did it.
Well, this is not what we're talking about.
If you look at the website, if it looks good, Brandy did it.
She hates that. Okay, anyways, we're going to talk about Easter.
Yes.
At least the what happened in the service, I think.
Yeah.
Because Brandy and I are part of that team. But Arch, you were involved as well for this Easter. So we're just going to give kind of a little behind the scenes of how we pulled really that curtain drop together.
That was the big one. That was cool.
I'll just say this.
Epic
Brandy and I both vowed to not give up.
And that was a big one because, I mean, we talked about this a little bit, but like we talked about this idea 10 years ago.
Yeah. So many factors.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyways.
Yeah. I mean, and like Adam and I were mostly brains behind it, which is frightening.
That is frightening.
That
and
is
Jason
very
Bailey
scary.
Figured out the whole drop situation with the lighting board, tied it all in.
It was very cool.
So we'll talk about that, and then we're going to do another game. Well, we've done this game, I think, once before called Linky. So we'll do that. And
Linky.
I've
Is
got
that one of the 7 dwarves.
Yes.
Linky.
Yes.
Linky.
Slinky.
That was one of the jokes that
Linky.
I regretted saying right when I said it too.
Yeah.
Thought I was going to get a bigger laugh, didn't.
But I received it better than you receiving mine.
Oh, you did really. I was a poor friend on that one. I apologize.
Anyways, so it's funny. This week, my wife is at a conference in D.C., so she left Monday. She's getting back Thursday.
She's meeting with Biden.
Yeah. Sure. Anyways, so it's been kind of me and the kids. You regret that joke too.
No, I feel good about that one, actually. I regret you not laughing at it more, but I thought it was a good joke.
Well, if it was funny, I'd laugh.
Yeah, well,
Anyways.
you know what? I've got a bone to pick with you, Adam.
Oh, what's that?
You've been on another level mean to me lately. That's all I'm saying.
Lately, as in 5 minutes?
Yeah.
All right.
And he did make a really funny comment one time when he outdrove me playing golf the other day, where we were looking for my ball, and then it was like, oh, it's back there. You'll be all right, or something like that.
I was pointing where the ball was.
No. It was an
I've
intentional.
golfed with him.
You know,
Yes.
and then I gave it back to him. I gave it back to him a couple
Wait
months
a
later.
second. Hold on. You've golfed with me.
I have. You don't even remember. That's fun.
When was that?
That's crazy.
There
I
was
remember.
a group of us. I know.
We went golfing
yes,
at Paradise.
that's right. I do remember that. I do remember that.
Us and Kim.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I was not a jerk.
Yes, you were. At one point, you said, "Well, you don't really have time to finish it," so I didn't finish a couple holes. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm just not going to golf with you anymore. It's fine. You're on a different level than we are. It's fine.
Well, no, I am not. Wow. I feel like this
We're
just
on
turned.
this couch for a reason.
This just turned into an
Air it all out.
intervention.
That's
did.
right.
Okay, well, I
Shit.
feel like I need to take this time to apologize.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I hurt any feelings, and if I came across as a jerk.
You didn't hurt my feelings.
I don't have feelings.
All right, well, moving on.
Sorry.
Anyways, my wife is on.
My wife is in D.C.
She's
not
at a
meeting with
conference.
Biden.
She'll be back Thursday night, but it's been me and the kids, which is fine. The boys are easy. Abby's easy.
Yeah.
I will say though, we have gone away, and left the kids with my parents or whatever. At no point did they show any emotion or sadness for us leaving. This was the first time that the boys showed emotion when Nikki was leaving. And it's weird. Like, you don't want them to be sad, but inside you're going, they do love me.
That's right.
I
Absolutely.
told Nikki, I was like, hey, listen, this is good.
That's a win.
Because, I mean,
Yeah.
before they'd be like, who's mom? You know what I mean?
Is there pizza for dinner?
Right. So that was cool to see the boys get a little emotional. And then, of course, she leaves, and then they've got this robot project that they got to put together from household items, right? And it's got to be done Thursday before she gets back.
That's rough.
So it's all on me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know my boys. If I had them try to do it themselves, they would still be doing it right now.
Right now.
So I was like, I know my story's boring, but
Big yawn.
by the way, if you're listening to the podcast, Arch just yawned the biggest yawn I've ever seen in my
So big.
That was not that big. You're being dramatic.
I'm just kidding. Anyways, I had to do 2 robots because, it's a 2-for-1 deal when you have twins. So I took toilet paper rolls and I just wrapped them in tinfoil and I took googly eyes and I glued those suckers on.
Yep.
And then I had to poke holes into the toilet paper rolls and I punctured my fingers a couple times and I stuck paper clips in there to make them arms.
Dang.
They look so bad to where the teacher will not even have a thought that I did it.
That's amazing.
Totally going to think they did it.
They're going to be like,
'Cause
wow, great job, boys.
the quality is that of a 7-year-old.
Yeah, that's your artistic ability
That's
right there.
that's all I
You hit
got.
your ceiling in 2nd grade.
So I'm looking forward to Nikki getting back. But that's been my week so far. So a lot of fun. But
Nice.
yeah, so Easter was special. I love the fact that we were able to do Easter, and I feel like Easter for us was kind of like I felt like this was the first time that our team kind of came up with an Easter service on our own, for the most part.
Yeah.
I think you can gain inspiration from different places, right? And like for me, like the songs were, the songs were the first time, like the opener and closer was the first time that I actually had songs picked like a year
Long
out.
time.
Yeah, forever.
Because usually it takes me last minute,
Well, right.
or
And,
it takes me a while to find that song.
and process wise, that's generally kind of where we start, where you
Right.
start, right?
Right.
Kind of getting the song.
Yeah,
pieces.
sometimes I'll ask Pastor Tim, like, do you have a thought for the Easter or Christmas service? And he's like, well, I kind of do, but not really. And so sometimes my song selection may help him figure out what he's going to do.
Particular direction.
Right.
And what's crazy is I think the closer, it was kind of like both of us coming together, because I told him, I was like, I have this. And he's like, well, I was going to look at Isaiah 53 as part of the series leading up, and I'll make that the Easter talk.
Yeah.
And the two of them really lined up together. I realize we're talking about Easter right now. We're just kind of
That's okay.
Sorry.
Let's just
We'll do
dive
good news
into it.
next.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about Easter now.
Easter
Why
behind
not?
the scenes.
I think
So that was really cool, and I feel like that was the first time I went, man, I don't know, something is different about this year's Easter planning for us.
Yeah.
When it's starting off, we already have the closer set,
Yeah.
and then when it came to the opener, Sunday is Coming,
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, man, this could be a really cool visual type of song, right?
Yeah.
And then we came back to this old idea of,
Yeah.
man, how can we do a curtain drop and not have to spend thousands of dollars
Yes.
because
Yes.
it's not just a simple drop. You've got equipment that's got to like release at the same time.
Right.
And so why don't
And
you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. We have quoted it at least twice as a rental.
Yeah.
Right. And it's very expensive and rightfully so. I mean, it's a whole system. They bring it in, they install, there's all the pieces done for you, which is great. But when we are trying to make it work on a budget, it's a little bit hard to swing that
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
have like nothing else for Easter. You know?
Right.
So yeah, we found the solenoids on eBay from China and they came to us. Which was a surprise. The first round got canceled, but we got the second round. And then the fabric, I think, was another adventure because our stage is quite large. I don't know if you've noticed. It's very big. It's 40 feet by, 46 wide, and then it's 23 tall, right? But it had to go taller than that to cover the entire thing. It's,
It's massive.
that orange frame is called a proscenium, and we wanted it to be as covered as we could get it.
And if you rented
Yes.
the curtain drop system,
Yeah,
a lot of the money that you have to pay for is that curtain.
it is.
And so,
The big sheet of fabric is expensive.
Yeah.
It is. It's very, like, I quoted even like just the fabric, I think it was like $3,000 for us to
Huh.
rent it.
yeah.
Like, it exists, we rent it.
Wow.
And then we have to give it back.
And then we
That's a good business model. We should get into that.
Well, now we have
Renting out
one. We
these
should rent it
systems,
out.
honestly.
Yeah, but we were able to make that curtain for $200 because Kim sewed it all together.
That's incredible.
Kim
Yeah.
Sheets, our graphic designer here at the Ridge.
Yes.
Your mother.
My mom,
Yeah.
She is a woman of many talents.
she really is.
And she
does
went
it
into
all.
she went to the conference room
Yeah.
about
That thing.
3 days, 4
Yeah.
days.
I mean, and just the system of her. I mean, she just had her sewing machine, so it's like not a commercial, crazy, whatever. She was in the conference room, had this giant roll of heavy fabric on her lap as she's just like stitching it. She did,
And she had to
amazing.
stitch 4
4 sections
panels
together.
together to make
Yeah,
one.
they
And
were 10 feet wide.
It
those
looked
panels.
so good.
Oh my gosh.
It's incredible.
And so we
It
got
didn't
the
even look like it was stitched
No.
together. Like
No.
it looked seamless.
Yeah. I mean, she did really a nice job seaming it together.
That's very cool.
before we even got to that though.
Yeah.
Brandy and I went in the auditorium at the beginning stages of this. Okay, let's figure out if we're going to do a curtain drop. And we looked up and we're like, how are we going to do this?
Our ceiling's crazy. So we have a catwalk, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
However, there's an I-beam that drops below it that's like 2 feet tall. There's pendant lights that are suspended. We have a fog machine that's on that first rung. There's,
And we can't go too far out because you don't want it to drop on people. You can't go too far back. You don't want to drop on the band.
Yep.
There's there's a lot of variables at play here.
Yeah.
And when we looked up at the beam, we went, "There's a beam. Like, how are we
So,
going to get the
yeah.
curtain to suspend under the beam?"
right.
And so you came up with a brilliant idea.
Well, it was funny because you and I joke a lot, and that's how we get good ideas. So we were saying, like, I don't know. I mean, if it comes down to it, we'll just have people up there and they'll drop it. And we were like, yeah, we'll just like drop it with safety cables. And it was like, oh, we should suspend it with cables. We definitely should do that.
Yeah.
So that's what we ended up doing.
So
Yeah.
you crafted I don't know 5 feet of cable
Yeah.
that there were 12
solenoids. that it
solenoids,
connected
which
to.
solenoids are like little contraptions.
They're little motors, and they
They've
have a
got
little hook.
and then they're all connected by cable.
Yes.
And it all went down to the lighting board.
Right.
And so when that time came at the song,
Yeah.
the lighting operator pressed one button,
Yeah.
released all 12 at the same time, and so the cables dropped.
Yep.
The cables dropped safely.
Yeah,
which
they
was-
didn't hit anyone, whip anyone in the face, because that's one of the things we were like, oh, cool, let's add some 5-foot
Yeah.
cables that'll swing around.
And the first time it dropped we almost cried.
Seriously, it was
Because
crazy.
it was 10 years in the making. It really was. It was 10 years of us going, we don't have the budget. 10 years of us going, I don't want to even think about it right now.
No.
And we both made a pact. We're going to do this thing. We're not going to go to plan D. And so it dropped every time.
Yeah.
Like with,
Yeah.
when it was supposed to. I screwed up one time. I accidentally turned the center solenoid off. And all of them
Is that what
dropped.
happened?
But
That
at
one day, that
dress rehersal.
All of them
Yeah.
dropped except the one.
Yeah.
And that was the full dress
It was dress
rehearsal
rehearsal.
Morning
Thursday.
Or that was Thursday night.
Yeah, it was Thursday night, and I'm going, oh
Well,
no.
and I love it too because I wasn't there. I was
Right.
at the hospital with my husband, and
He's
no
okay.
one told
okay.
me. Yeah, he's fine. He did. Yep, we're good.
He's fine.
But no one told me about that. 'Cause
Yeah, I wasn't
think
gonna tell you
I
that.
would have
No chance.
been there, like losing my mind.
No, because I knew you weren't there, and you and I have been hauling the curtain up, and it
Yes.
takes two people to haul up the curtain. And I was like, well, we got to practice with the curtain tonight. So I went up there, and I'm hauling
By
up.
himself.
I'm hauling up 2 ropes, and I got to a point where I was like, I don't know what to do now. So I'm like pulling to get to my hand over to my left hand to try to hook it on. It was fun, but in the process, I must have like turned off the thing.
Yeah.
But when the moment it dropped and the one stayed on, I went, "You've got to be kidding me!" But that was all user error, thank goodness. But the thing dropped perfect every time. It was great, and I think it worked really well with that song.
Yeah.
And that little kind of lead into the song
Yeah.
was kind of an idea we had just to set up the story, because I felt like we needed to set up this song because the song did a beautiful job of telling a story, but it just I felt like it kind of just started,
Yeah.
and I wanted there to be
Yeah.
some tension
And to anticipate what's coming. Yeah.
And if you go back and watch it,
Yes. Oh.
that's fine.
Oh, this is good. This is funny.
I wasn't going to talk about it.
Nah.
Yes.
I didn't want it to be completely quiet. I wanted there to be some type of like a low rumble or something
Some
that
sonic texture.
yes. And so I go on this website that has sound effects or whatever, and I found a sound effect that said like inside of a plane or something, and I listened to it. I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So I was like, Brandy, I think we should use this. And she puts it all together. Like I come up with the idea sometimes, and then like, I don't know how to do half this stuff. I'm like, hey, we should do this. And then poor people have to like make it happen. But I gave it to her. I was like, hey, I think we could do this. And then it was great. And then,
It's a really good idea. And
then-
I think it filled it out well.
it did. And then
I was struggling because the pitch was different. Like the key that the song starts in,
Right.
with the pad, was not matching well with that. So
Right.
you adjusted it.
I adjusted it and I gave it to her. And
Yeah.
then one rehearsal, we listened to it, and I told her after at some point, I was like, I think that really worked well. And I've worked with Brandy long
You
enough.
didn't just tell Brandy though. You were like
You were telling other people.
I was telling other people,
like,
yeah. I was
That's the
telling
inside of an
band.
airplane.
Yeah,
Like, how
isn't
cool
that
was
cool?
this?
Yeah. And I
Hyping
told
it.
Brandy that I told other people later.
Yeah.
And I've worked with her long enough to know that when she's thinking something,
It's on my face.
it's on her face.
Saying one thing,
Yeah. I said, okay, what are you thinking right now? What's so funny? And she's like, I may or may not have switched that sound effect to something else.
I'm so sorry. It was while you were changing the key that I was like, oh, this one works.
And I had no idea.
Well, and you didn't need to know, and I didn't need to tell you. It's I
but you
couldn't.
did.
I'm sorry.
Adam's
And I was
walking around.
fine with it. I thought it was hilarious, and I was like, I mean,
felt bad
the sound effect was pretty much the same. There wasn't that big of a
It
difference.
It was.
But putting that all together was just really special for us, because I think we had a great idea, we committed to it, we made it happen, and it all worked really well. And then when it came to the service and picking songs, I just try to pick songs that really are powerful, that are meaningful, that have that Easter theme. Oh, Praise the Name is just always going to be a powerful song. I don't think that will ever go away. But being able to tag into the bridge of All Hail King Jesus, I think was something that I think worked really well. And then having you come out and just share your story, and it's crazy because I wanted there to be another element and not just kind of like songs and then talk. Like I feel like there needed to be something there. And we did these Holy Week devotionals, which really turned out great, I think. Yeah. But your devotional was kind of the last day of that Holy Week devotional, and it was on Easter Sunday.
Yeah. Well, not only that, I mean, you're kind of over the team that did Holy Week Devo, and that's a big deal. And then we sprung it on you. We're like, hey, Arch, while you're writing yours, we're going to have you read it on stage live for us, and we gave you barely any parameters.
No, I was playing.
Barely any. I was like, hey, you're going to come into O Praise the Name, so maybe do something.
Figure that out.
Yeah, that's about all I gave you. But I tell you what, it's funny because I thought, man, I hope this doesn't feel like out of left field. Like we do the worship and then we have them sit and then Arch comes out and does a thing. I just hope people understand it and it makes sense. Yeah. But I've had multiple conversations from people who specifically talked about that moment, even how we lit it and how we used only the one center background and how it was just so focused on him and him reading from the book, I think was a cool visual as well. But I think you just being vulnerable and talking about your life and your story, I think that just really spoke to a lot of people. And so props to you for just being willing to share that story. And I know you've shared it before in other settings, but I think, Easter, you get a lot of people and you get a lot of people that are new, that have not been here before or been to church, period. And I think people who are going through life and hardships of life. Yeah. And I think that moment was a chance for people to really relate to something and go, wow, I feel that. I've been through that. I know that feeling. And there is a reason to hope and to praise God for it. Yeah. I think it was a powerful moment, man. Yeah. That was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I was really excited when you guys asked me to do it. I love kind of being forced out of my comfort zone and doing stuff that's harder. Like, for example, Brandy said, I kind of oversee the Devo stuff. And I never saw myself as a writer, at all. And, there was one English teacher that, was really great and kind of helped me get better, but even still never, but, so it's pushed me to be outside my comfort zone and do things that I don't think I'm good at and stretch and try and get better and all that. But it's, it's fun, just to have those opportunities to be able to share. And it's just so cool. It's just crazy how God works and the incredible thing. And the theme of kind of, what I shared is that, my story is God's story, and that's the coolest thing about it is that, it's the story of God's faithfulness and what God has done and what he's going to continue to do, and how he has changed everything for my family. And so it's that's the story of hope that we offer. And so, it was, in some sense, it was how the resurrection of Jesus it was on display of how it's played out in my life and everything. Right. So it was even an application of the talk and Sunday and everything we're celebrating. So it just worked out really well. I was really glad to get to share it. And it's funny, it's one of those things that growing up, that's what everybody knew my family for, right? And then when we moved to DC, nobody knew, cause we're just meeting new people and whatever. And it was weird. It was kind of freeing. For some sense, in some sense of not everybody just knows my whole family story and all that, but it's a mixture here because in Morgantown, I've got people that know my family, other people that don't, and so it's really neat to have a mixture of that. There were a lot of people that I'm really close with that were even dude, I had no idea. I'm I didn't even realize I hadn't shared that, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it was a great opportunity. I was glad to be able to do it, and I think it fit really well. Yeah, with Easter, with the resurrection, with all of that, and. Shout out to everybody who wrote Devos, and I thought that was great. Yeah. Jamie helped kind of make that awesome with the social media.
The reels and all the stuff leading up to all that promotion. Cool. She did such a good job.
Yes, it was excellent. It was excellent.
I don't think people realize, it takes a lot of work and time and effort to do these things. Yeah. And we have an amazing team that just really go above and beyond to do the best we can to share the gospel. You know?
Can I throw you a fastball?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think I thought Easter was amazing and talking about it. Let me just share your guys' heart behind doing something so excellent and so crazy. Yeah. Like what's the heart there? You know what I mean? Yeah,
I think for me, I think we live in a world where it can be easy to get distracted. Someone hits a wrong chord, or a lighting cue happens, or whatever. Those things are going to happen.
For sure.
Don't get me wrong, because it's live technology, the human factor, right?
Totally.
But there's a difference, and I think we've learned this from the Lift Conference and Passion City Church. We look at them a lot because they're really focused on creatives and how God is a creator. And we have that ability to create and to provide these amazing ways of telling a story in engaging and relevant ways.
Yeah.
And so they look at it through this lens of, it's not about perfection.
Yeah.
There's a difference between perfection and excellence.
Yeah.
And I think if you try to strive to do things for perfection, I think you're going to mess up a lot more.
Yeah.
I think you're going to focus more on maybe the doing part and not just being.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think excellence is this different mindset of like, we want to prepare, and we want to prepare as much as we possibly can. And our job is to make sure we think through everything we can. We rehearse, we practice, we prepare, but that's so we can be excellent in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's really just like, I feel like it's a heart thing.
Yeah.
Like if we
Yeah,
come to this thing with this heart of excellence, the fact that we're not doing this for us, we're doing it for God. This is all for Him.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of, at least I try to approach that way. You know, we're human. We're gonna veer off that from time to time, and we're gonna see something like the curtain not drop on Thursday and feel a little defeated and go, "Oh man, what's gonna happen?" But if we can keep that mindset of being excellent, knowing it's okay if you mess up because your heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
And I think that's the stepping
sure.
off point.
For
and then
sure.
kind of going from there. I don't know if Brandy, you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, we serve a creator who is creative, so that piece of Him that's in us, we should use it and be creative. And I think the other thing is, like, you know, why do we use all the technology and why do we do all of this stuff? Like, if it's okay to do that in culture, if it's okay to do that for things that mean a little bit less, then why are we not using it to tell the greatest story ever told? And why are we not using the things at our disposal to glorify God? Like, for me, that just, you know, it makes sense for us to do all of this for the glory of God.
Yeah.
And it is. It's a heart posture.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. And I was just going to say, like, I think that's one of the things that's cool that people don't get to see is because if they don't know you, you know, if they don't have conversations and hear your heart for people and for God and His glory and all that stuff, like, they don't get to see that. And that, man, this is about everything we do is, man, how do we do our best with what God has given us to tell the story that has changed our lives in a way that's going to engage people who are not going to be as inclined to be engaged in church with God's word, with all of these things. And so, you know, it's not, you know, our Sundays are not a performance, you know, it's not a show.
No,
it's leading worship, you know, how do we lead people into worshiping God, and how do we lead people into a relationship with Him? And so everything, it's like, it flows out of that. And you know, I just love that God is creative. He's a creator. Like, if, you know, God puts on a show. I mean, look at the eclipse, look at, you know, like, look at flower, you know, look at, man, just spend a little time outside. It's like God put on a show, you know, with the world, and not that we're putting on a show, but we're trying to use everything God has given us to be able to tell that story as effectively as possible, so more people will come to know Him.
I think it's important to have the gospel at heart.
Yes.
The Bible is true.
Yes.
That will never change.
Never.
But our world changes all the time.
Yeah.
Culture changes. And I think our job is to stay true to the Bible and the gospel, but also to stay as relevant as we can.
Yeah.
Without being a show, right?
Yeah.
And we've adapted that over the years since I've been here. I mean, we used to have this kind of idea of the funnel. That was a North Point kind of idea of, we want to reach as many people at the beginning of the service as possible, Christian or not Christian.
Yeah.
And then as we get closer to the talk, we're pointing them to God.
Yeah.
But we're not alienating them from the beginning. And I think that's a great model.
Yeah.
And so we would do, secular openers that are appropriate for church, right?
Yeah.
We would do different things that maybe would appeal to people who don't know the worship songs as well as they know, I heard that on the radio the other day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they're new to church because it's intimidating.
Right.
If you're like, hey, I want to pursue this journey to get to know God, and you're far from God, stepping into a place like this is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've changed that over the years because I believe Christian music and worship music in general has become more relevant.
It's really
sounding.
Good. It's
Yes.
excellent.
I think, you look at example, Brandon Lake, Gratitude.
Yep.
That was sung on The Voice by one of the people. 10 years ago, that doesn't happen.
No chance.
On American Idol.
No,
you don't
chance.
see that.
Yeah.
Christian worship music is hitting mainstream media more now than ever.
Yeah.
And so I think that speaks to a lot of, what's happening in our world. I think the Christian music has adapted and I think has become more, relevant to where I think we can start services with a worship song.
Yeah.
And I think it makes sense. And I think since the pandemic, people are needing something.
Yeah.
And they just want to come to church because they're looking for hope. They're looking for love, for something.
Yeah.
And they probably are just like, I don't want to fight through this stuff at the beginning. Let's just get to, I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I need something.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important to stay relevant. And I think we do that with how we do things. But I think we've changed a little bit of how we approach a service. I believe from beginning to end, it needs to be intentional and it needs to be engaging and impactful.
Yeah.
And how can we do that?
Yeah.
How can we do it in a fun way? Sure, at times when it works.
Yeah.
But I just think music has shifted to where it's just really relatable. And I don't think it's a situation in which people come in and go, I don't know that song. I think people go into song. That song's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
even on that, like Christian hip hop and Christian rap, like you play Madden, the new NBA, like any of those games, there'll be a few Christian rap songs in there because the excellence level is there now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's a trailer for like on NBA, like an NBA thing or whatever. So it's like it is really cool to see that. I think the level of excellence has kind of been stepping up in music for Christian music and so I think that's great.
hopefully that answered your question.
No, it did.
Our
Yeah,
answer.
yeah. No, it did. That was awesome.
It wasn't a fastball; it was a curveball. I wasn't ready for that question.
Well, it was high and tight, but
high and tight.
it was high and tight, right in there, right at your
What
chin.
that means for non-baseball fans is the pitch is close to you as the batter and really high in the zone.
Coming right at your chin.
Yeah.
You don't like that as the batter.
You almost hit me.
I did.
Yeah.
But that was good. You hit it out of the park.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more thing we got to talk about though, because the week of Easter, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, almost all day, we spent on that photo op in the alcove.
I know.
And I think I want to say it because I want people to know how hard we worked for that thing.
Y'all will not believe it. Every time I walked out of my office in the lobby, Adam and Brandy and Kim were at that wall gluing triangles.
Dude, we're gluing. I was taping triangles together. You guys were folding them.
Austin was folding. Poor guy. I mean, he was in it. It was like everyone had to focus. It's Easter week, you know?
Yeah.
And-
Which is cool. But
but it was the cycle of emotions.
Yeah.
Yes.
This looks great. I'm sick of this. I don't want to do this. This looks horrible. This looks great. I'm sick of this. I don't want to do this.
Yes.
It looked. I loved it.
Thought
I think
it
it's
was
one
so cool.
I think it's one of my favorite ones we've done.
From a distance, I'd say I agree. The closer you got to that bad boy, it was like, oh, these don't quite line up.
Imperfections.
Yeah.
And then Easter Sunday, kids, paper.
Touching it.
What do you do?
And there's nothing you can do about it.
But I remember asking Brandy, because Brandy designed that. And I was like, how do you come up with that? And you were just like, it just kind of happens, right?
Yeah. I mean, Adam and I look for inspiration. We talk through some things.
Here's what happens. Sometimes I get on Pinterest and I'll see something and then I'll show her and I'll be like, hey, this looks cool.
Yeah.
And then I feel bad because I don't think about
The work.
how are we going to pull that off.
Yeah.
But she does.
Yeah.
And she does a brilliant job of how do we pull things off. But then I feel bad because it's like, this is going to take more effort than I thought it would.
If I don't think it's a good idea, I don't go along with it either.
That's
I'm
very
like,
true. You shut it down
that's
quick.
Dumb.
Yeah.
And then we do some other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
We've worked long enough to be able to say that to each
Yeah,
other and
respectfully.
know respectfully. Yeah.
Look, you got to have that honesty. It's the only way to.
I was proud of us though, and her. I think her ability to pick colors is highly underrated.
Yes.
It's crazy because I'll pick colors on something like backgrounds.
yeah, because
Yeah.
little do you know, Adam chooses all of the worship backgrounds,
I
the
do.
videos
Yeah,
that
didn't
are
know that.
projected.
Yeah. I love it. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
But
I have veto
get
power.
paranoid.
Yeah.
I get paranoid sometimes
Yeah.
because I'll have I'll have her
Brandy's-
look
Yeah.
and I'll be like,
yeah.
okay, first off, we can change the color.
Yeah.
Yes. We changed a good bit of.
Is the background design of what's doing? Are we cool with
Yes.
it? And then she's like, yeah. And I'll be like, color. And then she would be like, when she pauses for more than 3
Sometimes
seconds.
I have to think. I'm not
About how to fix
read.
about how to fix what's wrong. That's what you're thinking about.
Exactly what's happening. Anyways, backgrounds for Easter. By the way, we made a decision that I think was brilliant,
Yeah.
coming from his
Yeah.
devotional to "Oh Praise the Name,"
Yeah.
where we started. It was just the center backdrop
Right behind you. Yeah.
of the white crown rotating, and then as you left and we started into "Oh Praise the Name," we expanded it to the left
side
and right
panels,
ones, and that transition was really cool.
I will say this is the one where I came in on Saturday and I worked through every transition on that projector, and it was as solid as it could be, and I was happy.
And I think this was the first time where we
Yes.
felt like we had time to do that.
yes, we were ahead.
Sometimes we're
No.
like last minute.
Sometimes I'm like finishing the video on Saturday, and I'm like, Adam, I promise it's gonna be there. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yep.
And I say no worries.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's my true feeling on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Because I know she's not going to,
No.
again, excellence. Like
Yes.
we're not going to just put something
We don't give
subpar
up.
out there.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I think we talked enough about Easter.
did.
Yes.
But I hope you guys enjoyed Easter. It's one of my favorites that we've done in a very long time.
Yeah.
And so thank you to our team.
Well, and staff at large, because they come together to help us pull off the stuff that we can't, because we
Yes.
are committed to the auditorium, and then everything else that welcomes people.
Yeah,
that
the
creates
snacks
a
in the
loving environment.
lobby.
Chocolate.
They embrace
Yeah,
it, and
cookies.
Connie went above and beyond, helping me with things that would have slipped through the cracks.
Connie's
And
a legend.
She
She
is
is a legend.
truly.
If you want to say hi to Connie, just call
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Church office.
She's the one who picks up.
Don't call
So
it
sorry,
church.
Connie.
Just don't
do
crank
it.
call the church, please, guys.
Don't prank her. Don't star 67 the church.
No.
All right, let's move on to some good news. Boy, we're 37 minutes in, but you know
I
what?
think that was enjoyable.
What a fun conversation.
That was fun.
it
and
was
you
fun to
can
listen
listen. You can listen to this in 1.5 speed if you
Yeah,
want.
do
That's
it.
right.
All right, let's move on to good news, shall we? What a change of pace. I'll go first. Remember last time? Was it last time that I did the snowplow names?
Yeah.
Two times.
Two times
Was that 2 times ago?
3 times ago.
Yeah.
Even.
What did I do last time?
I have no idea.
I don't remember. Oh, I can just look
Big
up.
Mac guy? Was
Big
that
Mac.
Big
guy.
Mac guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wonder if he's still alive.
Update.
No, he's dead.
No, update. I decided to not.
that's
go
right.
That's a
for
good
it.
call.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a
remember.
I
wise
haven't
choice.
eaten any Big Macs since I've eaten a couple double quarter pounders.
I did have one the other day. There's something special about a double quarter pounder. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's just one more patty, but boy.
Yeah.
All the difference.
A pet insurance company is inviting the public to vote on some of the most unusual animal monikers of its annual Wacky Pet Names Prize.
Perfect.
Nationwide said the most bizarre names were chosen from the company's currently enrolled pets and split into 3 categories: dog, cat, and exotic. Here we go. The finalists in the dog category are Boots with the Fur,
Yeah.
Chug Chug Pickles.
That's pretty good.
Oh, this is a long one. Lil Richard Simmons sweating to the oldies. Who's calling their dog that? Come on. Lord Waddles. I love that one.
That's got to be like a pug, right?
Yeah, it's gotta
Lord
be.
Waddles.
Lulu the Conqueror.
That's definitely Chihuahua.
I love this one. Molly from Corporate. Mr. Pizza Puff. One Love Tiny Dancer Princess Margaret Rose Windsor.
That's a bulldog.
Team the Bandit Player. And then the News. So those are the finalists.
I
for
like
the dog
Chug Chug
category.
Magoo or whatever that was.
Well, you got it wrong.
Chug Chug Pickles?
Chug
Chug
Chug Pickles. I don't know. I like Molly from Corporate.
That
Molly from Corporate is pretty good.
The feline finalists are Balsamic Vin, Car Alarm, Itty Bitty Kitty Committee. Oh, my favorite one, Meownaise. Samsung Family Hub refrigerator.
Wow.
Come on. What are you doing?
Car Alarm is so funny.
Car Alarm, Skull Crusher, Steph Curry.
Hey, Steph Curry's good.
And Tony Scarface Baloney. The finalists in the exotic category are a rabbit named Beelzebun, a ferret named Boo Boo Bean, a snake named Boop Noodle.
Boop Noodle.
That's my new favorite.
Is that what you do?
Yep.
And then, okay. A guinea pig named Cow Pig, a lizard named Frosted Mini Wheats, a macaw named Magic Nugget, a tortoise named Midsize Sedan, a ferret named Mumbo Jumbo, a pig named Snoop Hoggy,
These are great.
and rabbit named Thor Odin Bun, God of Bunder.
Odin Bun, God of Bunder.
I mean, come on.
That's amazing.
Great. So there you go. That's my good news story. And listen, we laughed and we
Yeah,
smiled. And that's
that
what
was
it's all
great.
about.
That's what it's
so there you go.
about.
Who's up next?
You go, Arch, with your yawn.
Thank you. I'll go.
Goodness.
Adam, that was the best good news story you've ever
Thank you
brought.
so much.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
I way to set the bar high.
Yep.
Okay. Castaways stranded on an island in Micronesia were rescued after spelling out help in palm leaves.
Wow.
The U.S. Coast Guard picked up 3 sailors stranded on Pyklot Atoll
Nailed it.
after they got into trouble on their small 20-foot open skiff. The men all experienced in navigating local seas, reportedly embarked on a voyage from another island on Easter Sunday equipped with an outboard motor. But 6 days later, Joint Rescue Subcenter Guam received a distress call from a relative of the 3 mariners, reporting that her uncles were missing after they departed on a 100 nautical mile voyage and had not returned. This is where the story gets good. Thanks to the coordination of the U.S. Coast Guard and the Micronesia Sector Guam and the U.S. Navy, the men were able to be located, with a crucial factor being their idea to spell out help on the beach. In a remarkable testament to their will to be found, the mariners spelled out help on the beach using palm leaves, a crucial factor in their discovery. This act of ingenuity was pivotal in guiding rescue efforts directly to their location, said Lieutenant Chelsea Garcia, the search and rescue mission coordinator, on the day they were located.
I'm sorry. I feel like
Listen.
they're getting a lot more credit than they
That
deserve.
was my whole deal. The ingenuity was pivotal. Like,
Sorry, we just talked about how we hung a curtain
I
for
know.
Easter.
if you're on a stranded island, there's a couple things you do. Big fire on the beach.
Yeah.
You spell out help in rocks or leaves. Like these are the
Yeah.
first basic steps to doing it.
Yeah.
And this is why I picked this story. Like,
Yeah.
great. I'm very glad they got rescued.
Absolutely.
That's cool. We're watching
Huge.
the show Lost right now. Those people didn't get rescued. And then everything got crazy and it was wild. There's big polar bears on an island and
Yeah.
stuff. It's crazy.
That's where I stopped watching.
Yeah, it's a little
Anyways.
weird, but we like it. But anyways, but I just come on, Lieutenant Chelsea Garcia, what are we doing here?
Ingenuity.
I didn't think they just handed out, this is like a participation trophy, honestly.
They went to elementary school.
Yeah, I literally.
They
That's
they
crazy.
knew how to spell help.
But I'm so glad that they were found.
Yeah.
That's great and amazing. But
So what kind of, so is this a good news story or
yeah,
like
the good news, they were found.
Okay, good.
No, that's really good.
Yeah,
It's
that's
great
good.
news.
You're
They
just
were found.
annoyed.
I'm just like, come on. Like, what?
Well, Don't build it up to
act
be
of
something.
ingenuity,
Right.
It is.
pivotal.
Guys got
crucial.
stuck in an island. They spelled help. We found them.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was probably necessary to see it, but
Do you think she was trying to give them credit because she thought inside like these guys were kind of idiots for getting stuck on this island? So you don't want to.
she was being sarcastic.
No, I think she was. I think she was
I
trying
think-
to make them feel better.
No, I think she's, now that you say that, she was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
I think they were like, aren't you glad? Hey, aren't
Yes.
you glad, Chelsea, Lieutenant,
Yes.
that we put that? Isn't that?
I
that's
could see that.
And so
Like
she's
that
in her
act
statement.
of ingenuity.
Like her and her
Hey,
buddies.
read it again.
Yeah.
But read it
Sarcastically.
sarcastically.
Can you please?
And then I think I could get a good visual of
Okay,
her
okay.
saying it.
Give me, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Did you
it's
close
right
it
here.
out?
It's right here. Internet's fast here at the church sometimes.
Sometimes it's such a true statement.
Yes.
In a remarkable testament to their will to be found, the Mariners spelled out, guess what? Wait for it. Help on the beach using, you know what? Palm leaves. It was a crucial factor in their discovery. I mean, this act of ingenuity, no one else could have thought of this, was pivotal in guiding. We would not have found them if it wasn't for them doing the palm leaves, ladies and gentlemen. They did all the work,
Ladies
not us.
I feel like
we just
Arch
happened
is
to get
adding
there.
a lot of.
I feel like those words weren't all in there.
I don't
but
think they're all.
No, that was the direct quote.
Your tone was very good.
That was a direct
That's
quote.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
she was sarcastic.
Thank you.
All right, Brandy, what's your good news story?
Well, as global warming is threatening ski holidays, some resorts are reviving an ancient trick.
An ancient trick.
Yeah, you know what it is? Saving snow over summer. So what they do, they wrap it in a blanket. They put it in a giant mound, and they wrap it in a blanket. So at the ski resort
Where?
of Ruka, Finland.
Finland.
I want to go to Finland.
It's in this cold, remote
Okay.
place called Finland.
Isn't it cold there always?
I
There are
don't
a lot
know.
of fish
the
there.
Snow normally starts to melt in April. In early May, the 22 chairlifts will temporarily grind to a halt.
Mm-hmm.
So then the trails turn into destinations for hikers, mountain bikers, but not skiers.
Makes sense.
So they have made 2 mounds of snow that are
Yep.
covered in white polystyrene blankets.
Did Kim stitch them together
She did. She spent all summer
in Finland?
in Finland.
She's a contractor
She is. She just, her skills of stitching are unparalleled.
worldwide.
Sought throughout the universe.
Yes.
She's Miss Worldwide. Okay, so how is the snow staying? How?
I don't know. Apparently, when you cover it in a blanket, it stays cold.
It doesn't matter.
But it says that it'll retain 80 to 90% of the snow, which
No way.
blows my mind.
That's
How?
insane.
I mean,
I
how
don't know.
hot does it get in Finland?
I don't know. They didn't really say that, but I don't know. Wrap it in a blanket. Let's see what happens. Anyone still have snow?
How big is the mound, too? That's got
Well,
a
it said
safety
that
hazard?
it's, let's see.
Hey Siri, how hot does it get in Finland?
I mean, it's a lot of snow.
The summer temperatures typically range from 8 degrees Celsius, 46 degrees Fahrenheit, to
That's pretty cool.
16 degrees Celsius, 61 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Yeah.
The average,
40 to 60.
according to visitfinland.com, the average summer temperature is 68 degrees.
Okay.
But
Okay,
in the
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
In the southern and central parts, it gets warmer.
Where's Ruka? R-U-K-A. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Anyway, there's 1.05 million cubic feet of snow. So it's a lot of snow.
1 point.
That's covered by a blanket.
Big old blanket. That's a big blanket.
That is a big blanket.
Yeah.
Wow, good job, Finland.
I know. Well, and now they can start skiing in like October and go through May, which. Yes, exactly.
That's what the skiers are saying
Precisely.
right now. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's kind of
Yeah. Central?
north central,
Okay.
and then it's kind of on the east side of Finland.
All right.
Ruka, it's near Kuusamo.
okay.
But when I typed in Ruka, Finland, first thing that popped up,
Snow
ski
mounds.
resort.
Yeah. Well, I have a quote.
Yeah.
It's like a house. You can
Wait.
have.
Do it in a Finland accent, please.
Finish.
Oh. He's like a house.
He's like a house. You just talk higher. That's all you're doing.
Ooh, big summer blowout.
Have a blowout. You can have a warm house, even in Arctic conditions, if you insulate it well. The same
That's pretty good.
the other way around with a heap of snow. You can make it resistant to heat if you insulate it well, says Fabian Wolfsberger.
Fabian.
Fabian.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fabian.
No, it's Fabio.
Wolfsburger.
Oh,
There you
man.
go.
All right.
No.
Yay!
Give it up for good news. Finland. We've got snow being preserved. We've
And
got
Help Islands.
People
men
getting-
knowing how to spell.
It's amazing.
And
Hilarious
knowing
animal names.
all right, let's finish this episode. You know what's funny? Before we record, I was like, this is going to be a short one.
Nope.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what's funny? Is my goal now for new music. I feel like I
Make
have
it dance.
set a high table by you.
Yeah.
You have set a high table that I feel like I have to keep up.
I got a vibe with it.
Is this okay?
I like it. It's a little funky.
Are you okay with that?
No, I'm okay.
All right.
It's a switch.
I mean, one of Adam's skills is picking out music for just
good at
about
that.
any
If you
of the
hear
things.
any music bed anywhere from this
Anywhere,
church, it
yeah.
comes from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does a great job of
Don't
that.
you forget it.
He can go anywhere. He like under the Devos. It can be soft
That's
and
me.
inspirational.
Yep.
It can be more
Under
upbeat,
videos.
Under videos.
Any Instagram reel,
Yeah.
that's me.
He's all over it. And it doesn't take him long. I mean, that's a
No,
skill.
it is a good skill to have.
There you go.
I know. I
We'll
know.
call this episode Adam is Great.
We have very unique skills.
up.
We develop very unique skills in this job.
We do.
Yeah.
Skills that make it hard. What's the line?
To pay the bills.
To get jobs elsewhere. Is that
No, from the movie Taken. Skills that make it difficult for someone like you or something like that.
Yeah. Where
Anyways.
I will find you.
Yes.
Yes.
And I will kill you.
Yes. All right, we're going to play a game called Linky. We've done this before. So it's pretty simple. We have 4 questions, okay?
Got it.
Each answer of the question, there's a link to the answers.
Yep.
And at the end of the 4th question, there's an answer of the answers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's a
Yep. There's a
link.
theme to
there's
them.
a theme.
Yes.
There's a topic that
Okay.
links them all
Like
together.
the game Connections.
Yes.
Here's how we're
Yes,
going to
yes.
play, and I'm going to do my best to keep score. If
Okay.
you could just keep your own score, that'd
Yep.
be great.
We got it.
I only
Arch
have
is
10
a pro.
hands. though.
Four
10
fingers.
10 hands. Wow, that's a lot of. You got a lot of
Start coming
fingers. You should be able to keep score just fine.
They used to call me 50 Finger Johnny back in high school.
Hey, 50 Finger Johnny, what do you have for lunch?
I got pizza in every hand.
I got an extra large pepperoni. Oh gosh. Okay, $1 a slice. Who wants one? Okay,
Very good at
so,
multitasking.
1 point per question that you get right.
Got it.
And then the bonus link is 4 points.
Got it.
Okay. So I'm going to ask the question. Buzz with your name.
Arch.
Yep. If you get it right, you get a point. The other person gets a chance to steal if you get it wrong.
Cool.
By the end of the 4th one, and I want to be very specific with this.
Please do.
As soon as that 4th answer is revealed, whether you say it and I say yes and you
Okay.
say whatever, it's open
Got it.
to buzz in to get the link
But we
category.
have to wait until
You got
after
to
the
wait
fourth.
to the
Okay.
4th one.
Got
I
it.
think that's only fair.
Okay.
All
And
right?
we have to say our name prior to.
Arch.
Yes.
I'm terrible at that. Go ahead. That's fine. Let's do it.
Okay.
We can say something else if you like.
If you get
Fabian.
it right, you're going to hear this.
Okay.
Your favorite ski resort in Finland.
Rocka.
If you get it wrong, you're going to hear this.
Oh, that's a
Perfect.
good buzzer.
Okay? It took me about 30 minutes. I can find a music bed like that.
But
A
these
buzzer
sound
sound is
effects.
very
Effects can
difficult.
be tough.
All right, here we go.
Question 1.
A surprise hit, the animated TV show Rick and Who began
Arch.
as a Arch.
Morty.
I knew that one.
Those are correct. Question 2.
Couldn't say my name. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You would have said Morty.
Morty.
I mean
Brandy.
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 Ah,
No.
man. Question 2. Name the famous Wookiee from Star Wars.
Arch. Chewbacca.
In DC Comics, Dick Grayson and Nightwing are alternate names of what character?
Arch.
Arch.
Green Arrow.
Brandy.
What was the
Dick Grayson and
Nightwing.
Nightwing?
Nightwing.
I know Nightwing. I don't know.
Robin.
Oh, duh.
Sure.
And the last question. So Morty, Chewbacca, Robin are the answers. From whose perspective are the Sherlock Holmes books written?
Arch. Watson.
Oops, I didn't mean to hit the bell. Sorry. That is correct.
Arch.
Watson. Arch.
Sidekicks.
Good job.
That is correct.
Thank you.
So 8 points, right? No, 7 points. No,
7 points.
You guys
We didn't get the one.
Watson. You didn't get
Robin.
Robin. Okay, 7-0. Round 2.
Sounds good.
Question 1. What is the tallest land mammal?
Brandy. Giraffe?
Good job.
She's so happy. Question 2. What is the fastest land?
Brandy. Cheetah?
Oh, she knows her animals. Question 3. What group of humans fall between tweens and adults?
Brandy. Preteens? Tweens and adults.
Arch.
Arch. Teens.
Yeah.
Teenager, yep. That's a point for Arch.
No, I got it. Yeah.
Oh, you keep okay.
So, okay, giraffe, cheetah, teens. Okay.
All right, fourth one. What breed of dog was Cruella de Vil always
Arch.
keep? Arch.
Dalmatians.
All right, it's open. What's the link? Giraffe, cheetah, teenagers, Dalmatians.
Things with spots. Nuh-uh.
Oh, good one, Brandy. That was amazing. I
The
had no
teenager
idea.
one's hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
so funny.
I saw that and I went, that's a little. Okay, all right, fine.
Jerks.
All right, so what's the score?
I have 10.
Not a clue.
You got the 4 plus the 2.
I got
you got
3
6.
plus 2, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
you
yeah.
got
So 7's 10-7.
7.
All right, 2 more rounds. Here we go. Next one. What is the name for a slug with a house on its
Brandy.
arch?
That was Brandon.
Snail.
You've got all the animal ones right so far.
I know my animals.
Which animal represents Cancer on the zodiac calendar?
Brandy.
Brandy.
Crab.
I'll mess with that nonsense. Just play it.
I don't either.
I know you don't.
But we all know who we are.
I was going to say, I'm Cancer.
I'm a Leo.
So
I
that
have no
helps.
idea.
Question 3. One of the famous inhabitants of the Galapagos Islands is the giant what?
Brandy.
Brandy.
Tortoise.
I mean, seriously, she's got almost all.
Can we stop doing animal questions?
No. Question 4. What are often painted and given out at Easter?
Arch.
Brandy.
I think Arch got that.
Really? Okay. Eggs.
All right.
What are the things?
Snail, crab, tortoise,
Brandy.
eggs. Brandy.
Things with a shell.
That is correct. Okay, so Brandy, you got an extra
14-11.
Oh, he's keeping score. He has the hands.
I do. They're behind the couch right now.
All right, 14-11 in favor of Brandy, right?
What is
Yep.
happening? These aren't animals. You're up. Let's go.
Let's see. We'll go with this one. Okay, last one. Here we go. The primary colors are red, yellow, and
Brandy.
blue.
Blue.
She didn't know that. It's a good thing I
she
said
didn't
it.
know that.
I didn't.
You're welcome.
What do you call the dish made from tortilla chips and covered with toppings?
Arch.
Arch.
Nachos and cheese?
Number 3.
Or nachos. It's probably,
Just nachos.
yeah.
The Greek god Pan is half man and half what?
Arch. Horse?
Bird.
It's not a centaur?
It's a goat.
Oh. I don't know my Greek gods.
Okay. I don't mess with that stuff. Yeah.
Goat, nacho, blue.
All right, last one. Many people take their coffee with what and sugar?
Arch.
Brandy.
Arch.
Cream.
It's open.
Arch. Types of cheese.
Cheese. Yeah. Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Who won with a score of
21.
20?
No, I had 10. 17, 14. 17, 15.
You know what?
17, 15.
That was a good game. Good
game.
job,
Good
everyone.
game. Good game.
There you go. That was Linky. Okay, we have one more thing to do before we wrap this episode up. We have the last drop. And let me stop this music and start this music because
Yes.
this doesn't feel right.
That's not very
Don't
Doing
bring it,
last.
Arch.
All
It's
right. Hey, okay, here we go. No, we're not doing that.
That would have been relevant in the 1970s. I had to do it then. No, so this morning as we're recording this, I also teach at Trinity Christian School. I teach one Bible class there with 11th graders, and this morning we talked about shame and guilt and forgiveness and the difference between guilt and shame. And so guilt is it's the feeling of doing something wrong, right? Like, but it's disassociated in some sense from yourself. It's I did a wrong thing, or I did a bad thing. Shame is I did a bad thing and I'm bad. And shame is the thing that lingers, and guilt is the thing that can kind of convict us and bring us back to the right way and help us know what's right and wrong. In some sense, the Holy Spirit can kind of convict us, and that can be sometimes that feeling. But shame is different, and shame is not good, and shame is not where we want to be. And it just reminded me of John chapter 8 when Jesus is with the woman caught in adultery, right? And so there's a woman caught in the act of adultery, pulled out of the bed, maybe with a sheet, maybe nothing, thrown out into the street in front of all these people just to make a point and to kind of trap Jesus. And so I just picturing that moment of her and just the shame she must be feeling. And the couple things that Jesus does is just incredible, right? So he sits down, right? And they're asking him, hey, the law says we should stone this woman. What should we do? They're trying to trap him. Is he just? Is he loving? Where's he at? And he's both. And so Jesus kneels down in the sand and writes. And one of the coolest things is, for the first time, all eyes go from this woman in the street caught in her mess to Jesus and what he's writing. And so she finally can breathe for the first time. And so he's kind of pulling all of this attention away from her onto himself. And then he stands up and he says, if anyone, whoever's without sin can throw the first stone, right? And eventually they all walk away, with the oldest kind of teachers walking away and then the younger ones later, which is a funny detail that they included. But then Jesus comes up to her and he says, woman, has no one condemned you? Neither do I condemn you. And so Jesus shows grace and meets her in her shame and in her lowest of low moment, meets her with grace and compassion and mercy and love. But at the same time, he says, and go and sin no more. And so he says, look, and I don't think it's a finger wag. I think it's more of a, like, daughter, I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want this to be your life. I want so much more for you. Don't live this way. Don't depart from me anymore, because the way that I'm offering you to live is the way of full and abundant life that you're looking for. Yeah. And so in the midst of if you're feeling shameful, if you're feeling guilty and all those things, look back to Jesus and look at how he handles those situations and those people, and look to the cross, because it's in the cross where he comes and dies for your sin and dies for your shame, so that you're no longer bound by it and you can be set free to live.
I love that idea of just to go and sin no more, with the heart of it's you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not going through this shame or whatever. Yeah. Like I'm here now. Yeah. Like you have someone who has got your back and loves you, and so you can live your life now and with some hope that you're not going through life on your own, and you've got a God who loves you. And I just love that. And that story is so powerful.
Oh, it's amazing.
There's so many visuals in it that are amazing. Thanks, Arch. That was awesome.
Absolutely. Hope that's encouraging for y'all.
I don't feel shame, but I do feel guilt about how I treated you both while we're golfing.
No, I enjoy golfing with you and enjoyed the smack talk.
And sin no more, Adam.
Okay.
I think we
did. You guys just fist bump after that?
We fist bump a good bit. It's fine.
I feel like that's a little much.
Couch stuff.
Okay. Stay over
guys, thank you so much for enduring. I think it was a lot of banter today, but I think it was good. Yeah. It was good banter. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you, part of this podcast is to have fun, but also to be able to kind of share the life of the Ridge and kind of what we do. There's just a lot that goes on. And I said it Sunday in our services, there's a lot that goes on that's not on Sunday morning in that room. On Sundays. Yeah. So much is happening throughout this building on Sundays, but throughout the week. And a lot of people are working hard to provide these awesome environments and places for people to grow in their relationship with God and others. And so it's a fun opportunity for us to kind of just share a little bit of that behind the scenes of at least what we did for Easter. But just know that we have an amazing staff and team of volunteers that their heart is to serve and to do their best to provide opportunities for you to grow. So thank you so much for allowing us to do that. And it's really an honor and a blessing to be a part of this. So we have a lot of fun on this podcast, but we believe there's a big goal of doing it, and that's just to give you hope and joy and peace in your life. So thanks, guys.
Yes.
We'll see you next month for another exciting episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.